The most beautiful gift of nature is that it gives one pleasure to look around and try to comprehend what we see. Rightly said by Albert Einstein. Hey, with this beautiful quote, I am your English teacher. My name is Mrs. Rita Yadav. I wish you all a very warm and a jocund morning. Today, I have taken Class 8th English Literature poem Daffodils, written by William Wordsworth. Dear children, this poem was composed in the year 1802. Basically, daffodil is the name of the bright golden color beautiful flower. The title of the poem informs about the loneliness of the poet. However, the endless view of the golden daffodils in the field across the lake filled William Wordsworth with joy. This view was the greatest gift of nature to him. Now, let us do justice to the poem by learning about its poet. William Wordsworth, born on 7th April 1770 and died on 23rd April 1850 in England at the age of 80. He is a well known Romantic age poet who believed in showing simple and creative expressions through his poems. The poem Daffodils, written by him in 1804, is one of the most popular poems of the Romantic age, unfolding the poet's excitement, love, and praise for the field blossoming with daffodils. The theme of the poem is charm of nature, beauty, loneliness. Dear children, this poem is a short lyrical poem. The rhyming scheme are as follows: A B A B C C. Dear students, when we will read the poem, you will automatically able to understand the rhyming scheme. Let's start with the reading of the poem. There are 4 stanzas in the poem. I am starting with stanza 1. Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lakes, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Dear students, in the first stanza, poet is comparing himself directly like a cloud. He is saying he is wandering here and there like a clouds. Like cloud used to float over the hills and over the valleys. The same way this poet is wandering over the valleys and over the hills. And suddenly what he saw? He saw plenty of yellow golden color flowers. He is saying he saw the crowd. This word crowd is indicating plenty of flowers altogether. They were golden daffodils. They were planted beside the lakes and under the trees. As the air was blowing, as the soft breeze was blowing, they were fluttering and dancing with that breeze. Second stanza. Continuous as the star that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their head in sprightly dance. This is the second stanza. Here, poet is saying, like we used to see the plenty of stars, they used to shine continuously in the Milky Way. The same way, these flowers are shining like a stars, and they are seems to be altogether as such. The stars used to form the Milky Way, same way those daffodils observed like a stars. Altogether, they seems to form a Milky Way. They were endless, means they were stretched aimless, means this daffodils were planted endlessly. Wherever this poet is having a vision, he is only able to see daffodils. Along the bay of margin of bay, 10,000 saw I at glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Here the poet is saying that when he is giving a one look, a glance, just one look, he was able to see at one glance ten thousands of golden daffodils, and they were tossing their heads, putting their head up and down, dancing their head with their heads, and they were seems to be having life in them. Third stanza. The waves beside them dance, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. This is a beautiful line, my dear students. Third stanza telling all about the comparison of the dance. Comparison of the dance is done in the first two line of this third stanza, that the waves are also dancing and the flowers are also dancing, and the best dance was of the flowers. Their waves are also dancing beside the daffodils, but the best dance is seen to be of daffodils, said by poet. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. This word jocund means cheerful. Okay, so the poet is saying he is simply amazed, he is simply very happy, very excited, and very cheerful to have such a very good company, such a beautiful company, such a cheerful company, companies of daffodils, said by poet. And what he is doing, he is only wondering, he is only looking and giving a simply look, and he was stunned looking to the flowers, and he is not knowing, he is unaware that what a beautiful treasure, what an enormous treasure he is collecting in his mind. Fourth stanza, last stanza. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dance with the daffodils. By William Wordsworth. This is the last stanza, and the poet is saying that often when he is empty, he is having no work, and he is sitting on his sofa. He is lying on the sofa, and when he is in a very vacant and a pensive mood, very upset mood, what flash into his mind? The same scene, the wonderful scene of the daffodils, which he has recollected unknowingly. So that flash to his mind, and that is the greatest blessing of his solitude, his loneliness. And that time when he is feeling in a very pensive, very upset mood, that time this scene occurs in his mind, is filling his heart with pleasure, and he starts dancing with the daffodils, means he is filled with joy and happiness with having such imagined view in his mind, which he has already collected unknowingly in his mind. So, this was the poem. Now, I would like to give you a summary of the poem. The poet is talking about the the flower, and he has written this poem when he was walking all alone in the countryside. Suddenly, he saw the daffodils, plenty of daffodils. Then he started observing those flowers. Then, looking to that flowers, he is not knowing what he is collecting, but unknowingly he is filling his mind with enormous treasure, and he is filled with joy. Looking to that beautiful sight of the daffodils. Later, when he is in a very upset mood and he is not knowing what to do, he is simply idle, he is feeling lonely. That time, his lonely is filled with the golden colors of daffodils, means the mind is filled with the memories of the treasure which he has collected, and immediately he is recharged. He feels very happy and to have the enjoyment with the company of daffodils in his solitude. This is all about the summary. This summary, my dear students, will help you to understand the poem more nicely. Now, I would like to take you to the poetic device. As you have studied in your previous class, what is simile, what is metaphor, what is personification, all these are the poetic device. In this poem, there are 5 poetic device: simile, personification, metaphor, alliteration, and assonance. So, I am going to make you understand one by one. First and foremost, simile. What is simile? A word or a phrase that directly compares something to something else using the word like or as. So look to the screen given here, slide. Under the simile, there are 2 examples. Number 1 is, I wandered lonely as a cloud, continuous as the star. So these 2 lines, you can see the word as. So these words are having a direct comparison. I wandered lonely as a cloud means poet is comparing himself as a cloud. In the second point, continuous as a star means those flowers are shining like a star continuously. Now, we move to the second poetic device, that is personification. What is personification? It occurs when the thing or abstractions is represented as a person. Okay? Now see, the human quality is given to the non-living things like dancing, head, dance, glee. These are all human qualities given. I'll explain. Number 1, you see, fluttering and dancing in the breeze means this flower is said to be dancing. Dancing is a human quality given to the flower. Tossing their heads in sprightly dance means moving their heads. Heads are of human, not of flowers, but there is a human quality given. Number 3, waves beside them dance. Can wave dance? But still dance quality is given to the waves. My heart with pleasure fills and dance with the daffodils means poet is saying his heart is filled with joy and he is dancing with daffodils means human quality is given to the daffodils of dancing with the poet. And you can see the glee. Glee word is also showing the happiness. The waves are happy. So this is what the human quality given to the wave. Okay, I hope you understood. Now we move to the third figure of speech, that is metaphor. What is metaphor? A word or phrase that is used in an imaginative way to show that somebody or Something has the same human, that same quality as another thing. Means you can say it's a imaginative way to understand the thing. So there is one word in the poem, inward eye. Inward eye means mind. Inward eye. That is a figure of speech used. Inward eye, it means mind. Okay? Now I move to fourth figure of speech, that is alliteration. What do you mean by alliteration? The use of the consonant sound at the beginning of the word that are close together with a within a group of words. Like you see, there are 9 examples from the poem. First one, that floats on high over the vales and hills. High and hills. Number 2, beside the lakes beneath the tree. Beside, beneath. Number 3, continuous as the stars that shine. The, that. Number 4, the waves beside them dance. But they. The, beside, the, them, but they. You can see the red color one, they are having same consonant sound. Number 5, a poet could not but be gay. BB. Number 6, what wealth the show to me they brought. What and wealth. WW. Number 7, and dance with the daffodils. Dance, daffodils. DD. Number 8, and when my heart filled with pleasure. Fills. Here with and fills. The I. You can see the consonant sound here. With, fills. Okay. Now number 9, and dance with the daffodils. Dance, daffodils. You can see the what sound is coming? Consonant sound is coming. So these are the alliteration. Now I move to assonance. What do you mean by assonance? This is another figure of speech which is having effect created when two syllables in the words that are close together, having the same vowel sound but different consonants, or the same consonant but different vowels. You can check out from this example from the poem. Number 1, when all at once I saw a crowd. A, and in saw we can say AW. Number 2, and twinkle on the Milky Way. Twinkle in that I is there, milky in that I is there. You can see the same vowels but having different consonants. Number 3, they stretch in never ending lines. You can see E. They are vowels but having different consonant words nearby. Number 4, the waves besides them dance, but they. You check out waves and they are having a consonant sound, isn't it? Okay. Now we move to number 5. I gaze and gaze, but little thought. Gaze, you can see the similarity. Vowel sound is there. Number 6, what wealth the show to me that brought. Number 7, for oft when on my couch I lie. Number 8, which is the bliss of solitude. So you can check out, these are the SON sound there. SON, figure of speech. Okay. Now, if I ask you what impact does the nature have on the poet, what will you say? Nature enriched the life of the poet because every time he remembers the scene when he is alone, it gives him happiness. In other words, nature has a purifying effect on human and his sensibilities. It also has an enlightening effect on him. That was all from my side. I hope you have understood the poem. Now, dear students, along with this poem video, I have attached this PDF of the book exercise, you need to check it out. And you have to complete your copy timely. Okay, so all the very best. Good luck. Stay home, stay safe. Bye. Good luck.